Hi everyone. So this handbag will cost you $45. However, this handbag will cost you over $10,000. What's the difference in the price and or the product? We're going to talk about pricing power and enduring pricing power in this video segment. Welcome to YCG, where we help your capital grow so you can achieve your financial goals. If that's something that interests you, then hit that subscribe button and the bell notification so that you don't miss a thing. I'm Will Kruger, and I'm joined by Brian and Elliott. Welcome, guys.
Hey,
how's it going?
Great to be here.
So last video, we talked about how to achieve sustainable returns in an environment where we have this deflationary pressure on pricing because of competition and innovation. And we really wanted to drill down on enduring pricing power and why that's so important. So I guess to get started here, what do we mean by pricing power, Elliott?
So pricing power, if you go back to those two handbags, it's essentially the ability to charge a very large premium relative to a virtually identical competitive product. And then to get that pricing power to be enduring, it means that pricing power is able to be maintained or even grown over time while still selling additional units and kind of keeping up with the category, in this case, handbags.
Awesome. So Brian, what are the sources of pricing power? How does this actually play out in our investment thesis?
Well, there's multiple sources, but probably the key ones that we would bring up. So one that's that we don't necessarily track as much, but exists is regulatory pricing power that stems from some sort of a regulation or like a patent that allows you to be in a position to charge more than your competitors. Another would be switching costs. So this concept that, even though another alternative exists, the costs are too high for you to switch, which could be an actual monetary cost, but it might also just be your time that makes you not willing to look for a substitute. Simple example might be like in the banking industry, where maybe you've got all these ACH bill pay set up already, and you don't want to have to deal with starting all over again and setting up a whole new bank account. But the third category is probably the most important one that we really focus on, that we believe brings the strongest, most dominant, enduring pricing power, and that's the category of network effects. I think an easy one to understand is something like Facebook, where there's just billions and billions of users. And what's also helpful to make network effects powerful is when they're combined with high switching costs, which we already talked about. So for example, if you have Verizon's this great network, but it's so easy to switch from one network to another. That's much more difficult to have pricing power versus Facebook, where if you leave the network, you're just not a part of that network anymore. And so the switching costs are very high, and it keeps people inside the network.
Great stuff, Brian. So Elliott, why is this so important?
Yeah, well, so, returning back to that handbag example at the beginning, what's so fascinating about that price difference is that over time, the cost to produce handbags has decreased dramatically as we've gotten new, technologies in factories, make them more automated, cheaper ways to get the cows, et cetera. And so the price has actually declined in real terms, even though the price may have gone up a little bit. It's actually declined in real terms and requires less of your labor hours to purchase. Contrast that with, but then when you layer a powerful network on top of it, like with Hermes, where it has a belief network, then it becomes something that becomes more and more valuable to consumers. And so even though that cost of goods sold is still roughly the same, the ability of the business to raise its prices over time, and in fact, with Hermes, it's been able to raise its prices more than inflation for almost 40 years. It just leads to so much more predictability of profit and so much more, growing profit, a growing stream of cash flows and profits for many years to come. And that's what we're looking for.
I love it. Thanks for the great discussion, you guys. Again, wanted to tell viewers that any company or stock we mention is not a recommendation to buy or sell the stock. And please consult your financial advisor for your specific situation. You can get a list of all of the securities that we've recommended over the last 12 months by reaching out to us. This has been a great discussion. Please leave your comments below and ask questions. We'd love to hear from you, and check out our other videos. We'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.